What is going on, traders? In this video, I quickly want to talk about why traders fail and some solutions to these common problems. Now, first allow me to quickly introduce myself. I go by the name IdentityFX and I have created a free community where traders who are like-minded can hang out and share trade ideas with each other and also experiences and just stories about their journey. Now, I've been a mentor for almost 2 years now, and I have guided a lot of people towards, I would like to say, success. These people, they manage to achieve their goals, and that is why I managed to map out the issues that traders commonly share, and I will exactly explain how I teach them to fix and overcome these hurdles and become successful traders. So let's first quickly talk about the statistics of traders in general. Now, a lot of people have already probably told you that 90% of traders lose, but that doesn't automatically mean that 10% of traders are winners. No, on the contrary. Actually, only 1% of traders make consistent income and money. So overall, let's say over the period of 1 year, only 1% of traders make a profit. Now, this is a really scary statistic because if you take a look at that, if you would put 100 people in a room, only one of those people at one point become a profitable trader. Now, do not get scared by this because if you know that you have to outcompete 99% of people, that just means that you need to put in a lot of work. Now, is it impossible? It definitely is not, especially not if you follow all of these instructions throughout the video. And that means that 9% of traders are actually dangling around break even. They might be making money at one point, but will be losing it later on. One of the first biggest issues that I see in traders is a massive amount of arrogance. Now, what do I mean by that? Traders, they come into the trading scene, they look up a couple of YouTube videos, and they decide for themselves, hey, I got this figured out. I know how candles work. I know how to place orders. I know how to do this thing. Trading is easy. They might actually make some money in the beginning, and then they start losing everything. Now, arrogance is a really scary thing when it comes to trading. There is a lot of information out there, and I do have to agree that there is also a lot of bad information out there. So surrounding yourself with people, mentors, and communities that are all like-minded and that all have great reviews, who are presenting great results is really, really important. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. You do not have to reinvent warm water. All you need to do is look for someone you can resonate with, a mentor, or a community, or just a handful of people, and together with those people and that mentor, try to really sharpen your skills. Do not go looking at concept A and concept B, mingle them together in the beginning. Do not do that. No, learn the way someone that is successful trades, someone with a verified track record, and as soon as you learn how to trade like them, then you can start implementing your own thoughts, your own interpretations, and your own skills into the game. But don't be arrogant and try to figure out a strategy yourself in the beginning. You can do that later on, and I do recommend you to do that later on. But in the beginning, try to stick to what works for other people and try to do exactly what these people are doing. Now, the second biggest hurdle that I've seen is people that are strategy hopping. One day they trade strategy A, so let's just stick them names to it. So at one point they will start trading support and resistance. It doesn't seem to work out for them in the beginning, probably due to some psychological or mechanical mistakes that they made, and they jump to supply and demand. And when supply and demand doesn't work, they start to look at more deeper SMC concepts. When that doesn't work, they go to ICT concepts. And then when that doesn't work, they jump back to support and resistance. Now, this is a really big issue because every single sort of strategy that you look into, you will have to invest time into master. Now, if you study, let's say, support and resistance for 1 year's trade instead of jumping from strategy to strategy 9 times within that year, you will learn 9 times more and your journey will go 9 times faster. I'm not saying that it is not important to actually look around and see what strategies are out there, but at one point you will have to pick something. Just choose something with a verified track record and pick something that actually resonates with you. Does ICT make sense to you? Well, great. On this channel, you can find a lot of ICT content. The beauty is that most ICT content is going to be free. Of course, there are going to be paid courses where people try to refine those concepts and bring them to you in a more simple manner, which is also something that I am doing. And this is just to help people achieve that next level. But it doesn't have to be ICT. Let's say you really cannot wrap your head around ICT and you've been busy for almost half a year and it really doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't work at all. It doesn't work in back testing. It doesn't work in forward testing. The concept just don't make sense to you. Then it might not be a bad idea to actually start looking at something else. But do not look at something for 1 month, trade it live, see that you're losing money or that you lose one trade and hop to the next strategy. That's just bad. Try to really stick to something. Learn the basics first, try to become better at it before implementing it in a live environment, do some backtesting, data collection, and so forth before actually hopping to another strategy. Something else that I see a lot of traders do is that they start getting pissed off, right? They start blaming the market. And this accounts for a lot of mistakes. This can account for FOMO, so fear of missing out. This can also result into overtrading or jumping into the market without a clear plan, simply because anger is coming to mind. Some traders really make themselves believe that the market really hates them and is moving specifically against them. And this just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You will notice that these people, they start blaming the broker, they will start blaming the prop firm spreads. And of course, it can happen that you get wicked out of a position, but just take the loss. Do not get angry. Do not blame a broker. Do not blame a prop firm. Do not blame the market itself. It doesn't make any sense. The world does not revolve around yourself. When the market moves a certain direction, know that the market is moving a certain direction, not to screw you out of your position, but just because the market wanted to move to that specific position. Now, another thing that is probably one of the most common things as well is that people are really undisciplined. People are lazy, people are unstable, people are inconsistent in their approaches and even untrue to themselves. And when I am talking about being undisciplined, you have to put it into perspective. In the beginning, we told you that 99% of traders are not profitable. 1% is profitable. Now, if you want to be better than 99% of people, if you want to outcompete them, then you really need to step up your game. For example, you know that people are able to stick to a diet, people are able to stick to a workout schedule. Now, if those are things that you are not capable of, if those are things that you cannot do, then how do you expect to become successful in trading? How do you expect to beat 99% of people? You really need to take a closer look at yourself and really identify whether you are ready to step up into this trading game. If you yourself are not disciplined, if you are lazy, perhaps have some really unhealthy habits, it might be really important for you to go and fix them as soon as possible, because you've probably heard this a couple of times and it might sound really cliche, but trading really is 10% technicals and 90% psychology. And that is just the case. You are managing risk, you are pressing a button. You decide whether your model is valid at this point or not, and you decide when you get in or out that position. So you need to have a really disciplined mind. If you do not have this, I'm sorry, but just don't expect to become successful in trading. What I see really often is that people have no data. And what do I mean by no data? I ask them, okay, you are trading strategy A and B. That's really cool. Show me some of your backtest results. Is it working in backtest? And they tell me I cannot show you anything. How do you expect to become profitable or have an edge if you have not tested whether you actually have an edge? If you, for example, are trading 1 full month of your strategy and you are profitable, that doesn't mean that over a year you are going to be profitable. You need to take at least 100, and that's the base that I always tell people. Take at least 100 trades to judge your strategy in a backtest environment, which is honest. For example, FX Replay is a really great tool for that. But if you do not have this data, you cannot tell for sure that you have an edge, that you have a winning strategy. A lot of people who are coming to my community for the ICT concepts, they jump into the markets right away. They don't think they have to backtest anything because they see that ICT is making a lot of people a lot of money, so it must work. But if you start combining 70 different models and 13 different confluences with each other, how are you going to know when you have a strong edge and when you don't? You need to find out what resonates with you. You need to backtest this, and only then can you judge whether it works for you or not. So collecting data, and with collecting data, I mean backtesting, taking screenshots, collecting metrics, journaling every single trade that you take in a demo environment, in a live environment, in a prop firm environment. That's all really important. And those things are going to give you confidence. Now, let me give you an example that I commonly use with my students, and it's a really simple one. At one point, a lot of my students, they come to me and they tell me, hey man, I am really not confident executing my positions. And it always boils down to not having enough data. And I mean, it is pretty understandable, right? Let's say there is no news, we don't document anything, and we go to the airport, right? We have no idea what planes are, but someone tells us, hey, we are going to step on a plane right now. It is going to fly up in the sky, and then it is going to land thousands of kilometers away from us. If you have never flown a plane, are you going to be trusting that flight? Probably not. Look at the first time you even flew a plane and knew that planes were safe, etc. Were you confident? Were you not a little nervous? This is exactly what's happening. Like the first few flights, you will be pretty nervous. But as soon as you start to notice that, okay, these planes, they all land pretty well. Sometimes you might have some turbulence. Sometimes it might be bumpy. But after 100 flights, you will probably realize like, hey, okay, this plane might land bumpy or I might have some turbulence. But overall, I'm going to reach my destination. And that is also backed by data. So you gain confidence as soon as you know that your edge is actually working. So no data equals no confidence equals no edge. I also see a lot of people overtrading, and I am not going to delve too deep in this subject right here because I think everyone knows what overtrading means, right? Taking way too many trades. You have to know that profitable traders, including myself, I only take 1, 2, or sometimes no trades a day. Some days you will see me taking a lot of positions, but that's usually because the market conditions are really valid. But overall, if we look at an average amount of trades that I take in one day based on 1 year of data, it will be 1 or 2 trades a day. And honestly, that is all you need. Because if you take 10 trades in one day, you might have 2 winners, but you might have 8 losses, right? Try to stick to 1 quality or 2 quality trades a day, because your emotions can only handle this much. Emotional fortitude breaks down, right? If you have to manage your emotions during 1 or 2 trades, that's going to be acceptable. But on the 3rd trade, you are just going to be exhausted and you are not going to be able to manage your emotions in a way that is going to be lucrative for you anymore. And then the final hurdle is going to be poor risk management. People are usually accepting that, hey, I only need to max risk like 1% per trade. And they start doing so. But then at one point, they might go in drawdown for, let's say, 2%. And then they say, hey, I can make this 2% back if I just risk 2% instead of 1. And they start doing this. And then they lose that trade. And they are 4% in drawdown. And this just escalates further and further. I think 99% of traders are guilty of this. They always try to make back the losers, while losers are just part of the game. When you are backtesting your strategy, when you are looking at profitable traders, are they trying to make back what they lost? No, they are just executing their strategy, they are executing their edge, and losses, they are part of the game. Even people with a 90% win rate, which does exist by the way, it doesn't mean that they have 10 R returns, but it does exist that someone has a 90% win rate. Even people with a 90% win rate will take a loss in 1 out of every 10 trades, right? And this loss, they will feel it, but will they try to make back what they lost in the next trade? No, they won't. They just know I need to keep executing my edge. It's as simple as that. Now, these were only a handful of hurdles, and I do understand that there are a lot more issues in trading when it comes to psychology, when it comes to technicals, analysis, managing yourself, and so on and so forth. So if you do have any questions for me, feel free to join my completely free Discord server, where I am going to be more than happy to get back to your questions. If I don't get back to it, then probably someone in the community will. There are a lot of great traders there. I'm sure you will find some good friends, some good people, or trade buddies, as I like to call them, to keep yourself accountable. Anyway, if you did find some value in this video, I would also appreciate it if you could just leave a comment, perhaps leave a like, or subscribe for more content like this in the future, as that really does help to grow my channel and actually reward me for the effort that I put into this. I hope to see you in the Discord server, and if not, I will see you in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.